And welcome back to an absolutely beautiful afternoon at Saquarema, Brazil. We're into round number 1, heat number 5. Brad Bricknell here alongside Peter Mel. Pete, we've had a long little break in the middle of the day, but we're back here and into the last heat of the day.
Beach is nice and crowded. You've got the soccer balls out and the crew hanging on the beach, bikinis. Right what we came to Brazil to see. You know, it's one of those places that is about the beach cultures. We watched the replay here of Paige Hareb, and she has been on point as of late, and let's see if she can keep that momentum here in heat number 5.
We're going to see Tatiana and just checking out this inside replay here as we just take a second just to absorb this opening section of the heat. But Silvana Lima is going to...
We expect big things from her. You know, she's not been able to really back up her world titles yet, but she's still very young, and can't wait to see what she can put together for this event.
All right, Silvana Lima on the outside now. This is the Brazilians' first wave in the heat. You can hear the crowd in the background stringing a couple of turns together, looking for a big finish here, and finishes off nicely on the inside, almost hits the knee on the turn. But listen to that crowd. You can feel that energy now starting to lift even late in the afternoon. But this is Brazil. This is Silvana Lima. This is the first showing at this event, and no doubt the crowd wants her to go all the way. Silvana Lima is now on the board.
It's interesting good. When you are running down the beach too. You can really hear the crowd. That's when they really start to lift their surfers. As we watch this replay here, you know, one of the things that Strider had mentioned about Silvana, in the fact is that she has really honed her equipment in. You know, I think with Marcio Zuvi and riding those boards and dialing that equipment into her style, it really has helped her confidence. And of course, with that, one of the oldest on tour, actually she is the oldest, and it doesn't surf like it. You know, I think that one of the things is you get kind of more mature with your style and you understand what equipment's going to work for you, because that was, for me, a little bit of an Achilles, in my opinion, because she always was kind of mixing up her equipment and really never got, you know, something under her feet that she was really comfortable with.
Brad Bricknell here alongside former Big Wave Commissioner Peter Mel, and looks like Paige Hareb now has found a nice little inside left-hander. She's got that power carve on her. She just needs a section now to try and put that rail to good work. This wave just fattening out in the section, a lot of energy being sucked out of it, but now starts to stand up on the inside. Little snap back into the pocket, looking to finish strong here. Little floating maneuver on the inside, and that's wave number 3 locked in there for Paige Hareb.
We'll see you at this last 12.5 minutes. I mean, Silvana now sits with that priority position. Let's take a look at the replay here. You know, again, wanting to stay busy. I think that if you were to talk to any kind of a coach who's been kind of talking to their athletes out there, it's, you know what, ride a bunch of waves. Give yourself a lot of opportunities. That's what I feel like happens here. You don't want to sit too long with that priority. And this wave does load up, but again, it's most of the maneuvers done out in the face. And the critical sections are right where that white water is and the open face. You want to be hitting it right in that spot. A lot of those maneuvers were done out in the shoulder area. Of course, the judges will take note of all of that. It's not as difficult to be surfing in that area of a wave. Insights
there from Peter Mel. We have a look now at Carissa Moore, the 3-time world champion, also the champion here at Brazil in 2011. Just trying to find a little chip shot into this left-hander. It hasn't quite stood up for her yet, but she has spotted something on the inside. Now gets to work, winding up on her backhand, a couple of little hits, and a nice strong finish there from Carissa. And Pete, again, same thing there, probably just staying busy. Got a 1-point ride on her last little right-hander. That's going to be her backup score at this point in time.
Again, building on that 1.0, she's going to improve on that. Again, it was one of those waves that it backed off, yeah. And she was lucky that she actually was able to find this little inside wall. There is that little shore break section. We've seen it at the higher tide even, that right on the shoreline, it gets a nice little section that allowed 3 little hits off the top. Again, she's going to improve on that 1.0. You know, again, and then there's those rookies, right, that are just now getting started, the successful rookies.
Well, here goes Silvana Lima, one of the veterans on tour with priority. You can hear the whistles and the screams from the local crowd, just willing this wave section to stand up for her. Unfortunately, though, for Silvana, nothing on offer there on that shoulder. Unfortunate for her because she had been very patient at the beginning of that heat. 4.83 was her opener, but she's going to get something around that 2-point mark.
It looked like it had some potential, and then all of a sudden it just disappears, and that's the deal with the ocean. Sometimes you think this got a good read on it. She has this first section here, but again, it just backs off. So she has to carve it back, and then again, it just even flattens out further. No real steep wall, so no critical section there.
Yeah, Carissa Moore now, the heat leader, has piled on a bit more pressure. Her last score of 5.43, so she has extended her lead as she waits on this inside section to stand up for her off the bottom. Nice little backhand wind up here for Carissa Moore. And again, another strong finish. It's one of her strong points, Pete. She always finishes her wave strong and always puts in solid performances. You very rarely see Carissa Moore fall off.
So even though the wave was small, there was enough critical sections there. She was able to get almost into the good range, gets a 5.43. And here, again, very similar where this wave backs off, but she stays with it. She sees something on that inside section. She's got a read on this little inside bank because look how it steepens up. And that's the sections that you want to look for. Those are the steeper ones that give you a little more push. She's able to whip it on there. And again, always completes her ride, solid on her feet. And when she's confident, everything kind of starts to fall in place for her.
A lot of experience coming into play. As we see now, Paige Hareb from New Zealand hunting out a left-hander. Watch for that big open face carve. That's better from Paige Hareb as the wave allows a little bit more opportunity for her. This is that section where it gets a little bit stuck up, but she'll do that rebound cutback nicely and wait for this inside section for some more opportunity. And of course, the strong finish from the New Zealander. So a good solid wave there from Paige Hareb. Looking to drop a 2.50 from her score if she wants to improve that position. I'm not going to get the 8.27 on that wave, Pete, but certainly, hopefully for her, will put herself in a better position now.
To get over a 4.5 in order to better that situation, which basically means that she's going to have to cuts that score allocated needed. Again, I agree. I don't think it's going to go quite into that 8-point range. I love her flow here, but again, the wave just lets her down. Now, those cutbacks, they're beautiful. They showcase her power and the way she's able to hold her rail. She's not doing any two stages. She's really gripping into that maneuver. But the wave just didn't have those steeper sections. And again, the only steep section she had was at the very finish there. She did well to hold on.
All right, so Carissa Moore is going to exercise her priority rights on that wave. Paige Hareb had a look. Carissa Moore, with 3 minutes remaining, decides she was going to have a look at this one. Probably a bit more of a strategic play there from Carissa. Not going to get a 6.0 on that wave. And that leaves now Silvana Lima out the back with 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock with priority and looking for that 8.84 to get into the lead.
You know, mom's Brazilian. So she has put herself with that green and yellow. So she is getting embraced in a big way. As we watch the replay here of Carissa Moore, I think you're right. I don't feel like this is going to really change much for her. Again, strategic play, keeping Paige Hareb off that wave with that priority play. You see some, truly inspirational surfing. That's how it should be.
Let's have a look here. Looks like Paige Hareb has found a little inside corner. We haven't seen one of those top-to-bottom opening moves just yet from her, but a nice little two-turn combination there. Smaller inside wave, mind you, but she's got a lot of speed through this inside section now and will finish quite strongly here. Nice vertical turns, a bit more vertical there than the horizontal one we saw a little bit earlier, Pete.
Yeah, and I like this wave. I think that she definitely moved away from the cutbacks. The wave allowed her to be able to commit to the lip. Especially off that first maneuver, which is always where you need to start out like that. And then the wave kept giving, too. She really completed this ride nicely. You see a little slap in the water from Carissa. She's like, oh, wait, I should have maybe waited for this one. And now Paige is finding a little two-turn combo outside. And then there she gets that turn. We saw that turn on the inside section in Lemoore. And she's utilizing it here in this little left again. And then finally, the finish move. So I like this wave. I think it's going to guaranteed it's going to be your best wave. But is it the big number that she needs of the 837? As we watch this one, much more reverse angle. She really digs in that tail for that final move. Tags it one more time, and then another section for the finish.
Great, a well-surfed wave there from Paige Hareb. 15 seconds remaining in this heat. I'm going to say it's going to be her best wave of the heat. Will it be an 8.37? I don't think so, but a great way to end the heat with 7 seconds remaining here. The beach announcer now starting to count this heat out, and that'll be all she wrote for heat number 5 of round number 1. We'll stand by for those scores, and we'll see if Carissa Moore is well and truly safe and booking her place in the third round later on in the event. Of course, coming up now is the last heat of the day.